I'm Micah Kaufman, and stay tuned for Rabbi Doug.
We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug. We're gonna see Rabbi Doug on your TV tonight. But Daddy, I want to watch Monday Night Football.
Forget about Monday Night Football. There's no other thing we're going to watch on Monday but Rabbi Doug.
Yeah, Rabbi Doug on TV tonight. We're going to see Rabbi Doug. Oh, everybody talk about Doug.
Shalom and welcome to Taped with Rabbi Doug. It gives me great pleasure to welcome from Teaneck, New Jersey, Micah Kaufman. Micah, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. You're a very special person. I want to read an article from December 20th, 2019 from the Teaneck Daily Voice. And you'll give me permission, just sort of as an introduction to who you are and some of the things that you are all about. One of two men critically injured when they were struck crossing the street outside a Teaneck synagogue Thursday night was to receive an award this weekend for donating a kidney that saved the life of a grandmother. Micah Kaufman, 41, and Sheldon Mermelstein, 75, both members of Congregation Beth Aaron in Queen Anne Road, were coming from Congregation B'nai Yeshurun when they were struck by a sedan while crossing West Inglewood Avenue about 6:20 p.m. Thursday, authorities said. Sheldon Mermelstein, Zecher Livracha, succumbed to his injuries on that next Saturday. Kaufman, meanwhile, remained in a coma in the intensive care unit at Hackensack University Medical Center on Friday that week, friends said. The 35-year-old Teaneck driver of the 2018 Hyundai Sonata remained at the scene and cooperated, Police Chief Glenn O'Reilly said Friday, adding that an investigation was continuing. Kaufman was among several altruistic kidney donors due to be honored in town Saturday night at a celebration of life sponsored by Brooklyn-based Renewal, which arranges kidney donations within the Jewish community. Earlier this year, he donated a kidney to an 85-year-old grandmother of two who'd been on dialysis for nearly 2 years as she waited for a kidney. At her age, the possibility of a donation wasn't considered likely, but Kaufman, friends said, is a special person. It's really a wonderful opportunity for those of us who are not in the medical field to save someone's life, Kaufman told Jewish Link, New Jersey. My father and sister are both medical doctors, and they've been saving lives for their whole careers. Kaufman's grandfather, who passed away in 2010, Alav Shalom, was 82 when he survived quadruple bypass surgery, he noted. He was able to see 2 more grandchildren get married and was able to see multiple great-grandchildren born, Kaufman told Jewish Link, New Jersey. How could I not give that opportunity to someone else? It wasn't really a question in my mind. I didn't do it to get the acclaim. I just did it because that's the way my mind works. Now loved ones, friends, and even strangers are hoping that Kaufman's life will be spared. Well, Micah Kaufman, I'm so glad that not only you are doing better, and I wish you a complete refuah shlema to the point where this never happened, but I'm so glad that you're in Chicago and able to join us today on Taped with Rabbi Doug, because you are a very special person. You are a Baal Chesed, someone who has done so many things for so many people, and then the ultimate Chesed, giving a kidney when you were in good health to someone who needed it that you didn't even know. How did you first learn about the opportunity to give kidneys to people you didn't know? And what kind of test did you have to go through to find out that giving the kidney was something that you were compatible with this person?
So, the Rav of my shul, Rabbi Larry Rothner, donated his kidney in 2018. And that inspired me to get tested. I went and got tested. And Renewal called me and they said, we have a match for you. And I said, great, just let me know when I can donate my kidney. I'll take a couple days off from work. They said, no, we'd like to meet with you first. I said, you don't need to convince me. I'm already said I'm going to do it. They said, no, we'd like to meet with you anyway. I said, okay. So I met with them and they said their oldest recipient to date had been 81-year-old.
Wow.
And I matched with an 85-year-old lady. And they said to me, we just want you to be sure that we don't want you to give and be upset that she's not going to be out partying with you a week later. It's a very difficult surgery, very dangerous, not easy recovery. And I said, let me tell you a story. As you said as in your introduction, my grandfather, my Saba, lived with us from 1981. And when he was in his 80s, he needed a quadruple bypass surgery and allowed him to see 2 more grandchildren and 6 more great-grandchildren born. And I said, if I can give this lady the same opportunity, I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I want to tell you, and I mentioned this to you off the air, that I have a friend, and I want to mention his name because he did the same exact chesed as you. His name is Greg Leviton. He grew up here in the Chicago area, was a neighbor of mine growing up in unincorporated Des Plaines, and he lives out east and went into Brooklyn and had this done also and donated his kidney to someone he didn't know. It's an amazing chesed when you think about it, but that's not the only chesed you do or we're doing. Tell us a little bit about the different organizations and things you were doing for chesed on the side. You were working, right? And you were also doing a lot of chesed. What was your daily routine like before you even went through this test and surgery?
I would wake up early and go to shul, and I worked in Hackensack, New Jersey, which is about 10 minutes away. Then I would go to work. We had mincha in my office. Then after work was over, I would volunteer for some organizations. I was the treasurer of Tomchei Shabbos.
I know what Tomchei Shabbos is, but why don't you tell our viewers, because a lot of them haven't heard of Tomchei Shabbos, although it's a well-known phrase for people who know Hebrew and things, but Tomchei Shabbos is about providing Shabbos for people. Tell us about Tomchei Shabbos.
Tomchei Shabbos provides meals or food for families in need, and they pack packages, and a family who's in need gets a package every week to make Shabbos or Yom Tov or Hanukkah, and so I was treasurer for them.
And I just want to tell people, that means people who just had a baby, who need help with meals, or someone who just got out of the hospital, or their family members who would be making their meals might be in the hospital and the family needs food. These are the people that Tomchei Shabbos would provide for.
That is correct.
And what other organizations were you
I
involved
was
with?
also, as you had mentioned, my Saba, my grandfather was a treasurer of my shul, and so when I graduated college and started working, I became the treasurer of my shul and a board member of my shul for many years. I was also one of the board members and one of the administrators for the local Jewish Little League, TBO and TNET.
Very nice.
I was also a member of the Chevra Kadisha, along with Mr. Mermelstein, who was in an accident with me.
Shalom, shalom.
Allah Shalom, and he was the head of the Chevra Kadisha, and I helped him with whatever he needed.
So for people who don't know what the Chevra Kadisha is, they are the group that come together and help prepare for funerals. They prepare when people pass away for the funeral and do all the preparations and dressing in shrouds and everything that goes with that. So you were a member of the Chevra Kadisha, and did you take over for Mr. Mermelstein, Olav Shalom, or did you continue to be a member of the Chevra Kadisha?
I am still a member of the Chevra Kadisha.
Very nice.
My memory is not very good right now, so I can't be the head, but the rabbi of my shul would like me to take over and be the next head when I can.
Very nice, very nice. What are you doing today, besides recovering, which I know it's a long recovery process, and especially for someone who had just a few months earlier gone through such a major surgery and donation, because God forbid if your other kidney was injured in the accident along with what you went through. What do you do today on a regular basis while you're in the recovery process? Besides going on speaking engagements as you do, I know you're speaking all over the country and spoken to so many schools. I read about all these schools that you spoke to out on the East Coast. So tell me what you're doing these days.
So I go to rehab every day. I do cognitive occupational therapy twice a week. I do physical therapy twice a week. I do vision therapy once a week. There's an organization in Brooklyn called Bina that deals with traumatic brain injuries, and I get therapy from them once a week also on Zoom.
Very nice, very nice. Do you feel that the therapy has helped you a lot?
That's one of the things about a traumatic brain injury. I don't remember things. Only thing I know is everyone tells me I'm doing better. Part of the issues that I have is that I don't remember. I think I'm saying that was 3 years ago, but everyone tells me I'm doing better. I just don't remember it.
Now, this accident happened in December of 2019.
Right.
When did you have the surgery to donate your kidney?
In May 2019.
May 2019. So between May and the accident, had you met this grandmother that you, this neighborhood
Yes.
grandmother that you gave your kidney to?
Yes. I donated in May, and in August of that year, we met. We had a dinner in Abigail's, New York, and I met her for the first time. And then when I was in the hospital after my accident, there's actually a short video of her visiting me in the hospital. Unfortunately, she passed away 3 months ago. Her neshama Shavaliya. But unfortunately, my memory's not so good, so I don't really remember her very well. But I was able to give her 2 more years with her grandchildren and
Over
her
2
family.
years, over 2 years.
2.5 years with
Yeah,
her family and her
2.5 years.
grandchildren.
Amazing. It's just amazing. How long were you in a coma after the accident?
2.5 months.
2.5 months. So you lost 2.5 months, and you lost your memory of much of the things that came leading up to that day.
Correct.
That went on. Do you remember going to shul that day? Does that memory
No.
come? You don't even remember going to shul that day?
No.
Wow.
I can't tell you a story that I've been told.
Please.
When I woke up from my coma, so that was 2.5 months after my accident, doctors were asking me every day 3 simple questions. What is my name? What is my father's name? And what is my sister's name? And I did not know the answer.
Not even your own.
No. They would tell me the answer and then ask me the next day the same 3 questions. And again, I would say, I'm sorry, I don't know. And they would tell me the answers. They then ask me again the next day. This went on for a month. Ask me the questions, myself not knowing the answers, and them telling me the answers. But every morning when I woke up, I requested to daven and put on tefillin. No one should ever have an accident or go through this, but davening and tefillin should become part of all your life. For men, tefillin; for women, davening.
Now, did you remember how to put on tefillin and how to daven, or did you have to reteach yourself?
I was in a rehab institute, a hospital in West Orange, New Jersey, and there was a lovely gentleman who would come every day and put on tefillin for me.
And so my question sort of is going with that, and obviously somebody had to help you
I
first.
don't remember.
No, I want to ask you, do you remember when you were younger putting on tefillin, as he was doing this with you, were your memories of putting on tefillin and davening,
I don't remember this time period at all in my life.
even that time period?
No.
Wow, that's so, it's amazing that you're here today and able to share this story. What do you think is the scariest part of things that you do remember leading up to donating your kidney? What was your biggest fear?
Well, interesting. I was supposed to have a root canal 3 days after my accident, and that got canceled, of course. So when I got home, my teeth were hurting me, and we did something temporary to take care of it. And I had surgery. I had the root canal in June. And my sister drove me, and she's in the waiting room. And the doctor woke me back after the waiting room, and he said, "The root canal went well. You might be in a little bit of pain tonight. Just take some aspirin or Advil." And I said, "Okay." And my sister stood up and screamed, "No, he's not allowed." I said to my sister, "I'm not allergic to aspirin or Advil." She goes, "You don't remember, do you?" I said, "No." She said, "You donated your kidney last year. You're not allowed to have aspirin or Advil anymore."
Right. Wow. That was a kind of a shocking thing, all of a
Right.
sudden to have that thrown at you the day you had that
Right. I didn't remember.
root canal. What other things from your childhood started coming back to you after this event? Obviously, your Judaism stayed with you all the way through. And it's interesting because people with Alzheimer's, older people with Alzheimer's, often the only things that they remember are things connected to their spiritual life. You know, they'll remember they're Jewish. They'll be able to sing the Shema still, even though they can't remember their own family members' names. So it's so interesting. What other things came back to you from your childhood or from growing up as your memories started to reappear in time?
As far as I can tell, my childhood has remained with me. I remember most of my childhood. It's the 10 or 15 years after my accident, or before my accident, I don't remember very well.
Very interesting. What are you doing in the future in your plans? What are your plans for the future? Obviously, your speaking engagements, inspiring people with the chesed you've done, the kindness, the acts of kindness that you still do. What are your plans for the future as you continue to recover, as we can see you certainly are doing?
Well, I'm unfortunately in a situation right now where I can no longer work. I speak at schools, I get very tired, I go to therapy every day. After therapy, I need a 2-hour, 3-hour nap every day. I can't drive, unfortunately, which is what I really miss, because that allowed me to do a lot of the chesed I did. So I hope to get back to driving when my eyesight gets a little better, because my eyesight is not so good right now. And I say in my speech, before my accident, I would drive people all over the place. I'd much rather drive someone 100 miles there and back than have to ask someone for a ride for 5 minutes. It's much harder to ask than it is to give.
I understand completely. How are your friends treating you? Do you feel like
my friends have been unbelievable.
Yeah, I want to know how it makes you feel and what that's been like.
It's been great. My friends are unbelievable to me. My sisters and my father are unbelievable to me. My nephews and my niece are great. My brother-in-laws.
Do you get to see them regularly?
Yes, I see my niece and my 3 nephews numerous times a week. I see my friends fairly often. I can tell you my accident, as you said, was December 19th, 2019. I got home right after Purim that year because my sister was a doctor in Englewood Hospital, saw COVID getting bad. She made me leave the hospital probably a week or 2 early. But as I tell people normally, COVID started for me 4 months early. My friends, when I got home, weren't really able to come visit me.
Of course not. Everything was closed down and people weren't seeing each other.
Right.
That must have been really hard.
Yes. I mean, I would have visited friends anywhere, anytime.
When you started to recover, did you have an iPad or something like that in the hospital with you, or in your rehab with you, that you were able to communicate with people?
I think I did, but I don't remember.
You don't remember that either?
No.
Wow. And what about when you got home? Do you remember when you got home?
I just remember what I've been told. I don't remember being anything.
You don't remember that either?
No.
Wow. So when you speak to children in schools, because it can be very scary for them, and I know you're aware of that, how do you present it in a way that, present your life, because you're really talking about your whole life. How do you present your life in a way that gives them inspiration rather than fear of what you went through?
Well, most schools that I've spoken at show the video that you're going to have to see.
Which we're going to show in a few minutes.
And that's a 5-minute video about my recovery. And I don't really speak about my recovery because that is not who I am. What I am is I love doing chesed. So I try to inspire kids and adults to do chesed. I miss doing much of the chesed I used to do. I can't do it anymore, or I can't do it right now. So I try to inspire children to do chesed because they need to do it. With COVID, so many kids, they went to school little, they were going to school on Zoom or at home. They need to get back to doing things.
Wow. I know you walked in here very nicely on your own. Are you able to walk to shul every Shabbos now? Are you able to walk a few blocks in comfort and safety?
I am able to walk. I help make it. I go to shul part of my life. I go to shul every day.
Every single day.
In the morning and in the evening.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. What is you as a Jewish observant young man? What is your inspiration for other children who are observant but unsure of what they should do in their lives. How do you inspire others to do acts of chesed? You know, you talk to them about it, what you've done. How do you inspire them to do the same?
Because doing chesed is doing good deeds. Being a good person is part of being a good Jew, but it's more important to be a good person. I tell the kid, they can do good deeds. I tell them, each kid, I tell them an easy chesed to do, and every single kid should be doing this, is calling your grandparents and great-grandparents once a week. It's an easy chesed to do. The grandparents and great-grandparents get so much nachas by talking to their grandchildren once or twice a week.
That's a wonderful, wonderful message.
Thank you.
Wonderful message. I want to show this video because I think this video is just amazing. It kind of tells a little bit of your story. And stay with us here on Taped with Rabbi Doug, Micah Kaufman, and we're going to watch a video about his recovery right now.
Thank you, Dr. Rivka, for inviting me to meet you and your wonderful family. Since I donated my kidney to you, I've been waiting anxiously for the opportunity to meet you, and thank God you're now feeling well enough that we were able to meet. Dr. Rivka, I would like to give you a bracha, that with this opportunity, you should be able to enjoy your life as fully as you did before your illness. More importantly, I hope you're able to enjoy your children and grandchildren for many years in health and happiness.
Tonight is a very, very special, emotional night, especially for the Teaneck community. We lost a family member, we lost someone from the community, and we have someone that is struggling to stay alive. Whatever we can do tonight, whatever funds we raise, are all going to be going for their zichut.
As many of you are aware, just over 2 months ago, a beloved member of the Teaneck community, Micah Kaufman, was struck by a car and seriously injured. We thank Hashem for the gradual and miraculous improvements to Micha's health and continue to plead that he be provided with a full and speedy recovery. Please join me in reciting a psalm on Micha's behalf. Tehillim Kof Lamed. Shir Ma'alos Mimamakim Krosicha Adonai.
I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. And I will stay with you. we'll make it to the other side, like lovers do. I'll reach my hands out in the dark and wait for yours to, until I can wait for you. I'll wait for you.
Micah, can you try to talk again? Can you try to say another word? Can you try to say yes? You did it just before a minute ago. Can you try to say yes, Micah? What do you need? You're strong?
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down on my last breath, even when they say there's nothing left, so don't give up on.
He asked for videos so he could see where he's getting better.
Even when nobody else believes, I'm not going down that easily, so don't give up on me. I will fight for you. I always do, until my heart is black and blue.
Welcome back. What an amazing video. Who put that video together? Because there's so much footage from different times and different events in your recovery.
My first speech last year was at the Frisch Yeshiva High School in Paramus, New Jersey. My sister's a teacher there, and she had one of the Rabbanim in the school set that up, got copies of all the videos that my sisters had taken, and he edited that into that video.
Wow, it looks so professional and it's so informative.
And that video has been shown all over the country whenever I've spoken.
Wow, wow, wow. Do you have any speaking engagements in other cities coming up? Are you traveling a lot right now? Or is it like one travel at a time and then you go home for a while and do another traveling event?
It's one travel and I go home. In November I was in Los Angeles. I spoke in many schools there over a week. In middle of January I was in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I spoke at the schools there. I spoke to JLIC at Emory. Mm-hmm. And then I'm here in Chicago now this week, the first week of March. Mm-hmm. And I hope to go to Miami, Boca, Cleveland, and any other city. If anyone wants me to come to the city, I don't charge money and I don't promote any organization. I just want to inspire children to do chesed.
What a wonderful thing. Micah Kaufman, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you. I want to thank all of you for being with us. Remember, you can check out our website, www.tvrabbi.com, where you can also see former shows on the web. If you want to email Micah or email us, you can email us at info@tvrabbi.com. I will forward it to him, and he will certainly get back to you in person. Thanks again for being with us, and thank you, Micah Kaufman. More success, more refuah, and I hope you should inspire many more people with your words.
Thank you very much.
Shalom, everyone.
Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug. Gonna see Rabbi Doug on the TV tonight.
This has been a Taped with Rabbi Doug production.